What's up, everybody? Welcome back and happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. They are linked still in the description to this video for you guys. Go ahead and check them out there. Today, we have high winds going on right now. We also do have a chance for large hail, but I think it's going to be a wind-prevalent kind of day through Kansas and Missouri. So we're going to get into today's risk. And then tomorrow, we got that same system shifting out to the east. Should weaken a little bit, but the Ohio Valley could see some storms out of that. And then to end the show, we're also going to talk about the tropics, but we've got your 5-cast coming up for Denver, Dallas, and OKC. And yes, spoiler alert, it's still going to be hot. So that's all coming up here in a second. But before we get into our weather, come see us at our next All-Star Stadium Tour event. This one is going to be in Baton Rouge on July 26th. So if you guys haven't gotten to come to any of these quite yet, come out and say hello. Derek is the keynote speaker. Should be a good time. This one's going to be in a casino, so that's always fun. So yeah, come out and see us on July 26th for the Atlas All-Star Stadium Tour. Then just a quick recap of yesterday. Check out all those storms across the nation. I mean, hail, wind, tornadoes galore, and really like no one specific area got missed by it. Central Plains, Northern Plains, Northeast all got hit. Notably, Colorado did get some large hail. The Pueblo area missed just a really big hail and just off to their east, and then more of it out in eastern Colorado for yesterday. So active day if you guys are in the high plains of Colorado. And then also for Minnesota, starting to creep up towards you for more of these risks. And we got large hail moving through South Dakota and Minnesota as well, just barely missing Minneapolis into yesterday. So Northeast, you guys have been in it. You guys have all that flooding to worry about. Now you had all those severe storms moving through yesterday. Lots of high wind reports, some hail here and there, and then things should be tracking more towards the mid-Atlantic for today. Speaking of today, here's what we're looking at right now. Central Plains got some storms moving through already, got a severe thunderstorm watch in effect, and already seeing some things getting warned off of the south end of the system. This should continue to expand into this afternoon and evening. This is going to be where the bulk of our severe threat is coming from, and the south end of that, where things are staying a little more broken, that's where we could potentially see that large hail or with anything that's forming out ahead of it. And then this line is expected to produce plenty of winds down through Missouri, through Kansas as it continues to track southeastward that way. Then for parts of the mid-Atlantic, we'll see some storms. They're already starting to pop up, but it should be very scattered through that area. And then again, it's just hot. This is our current temperature map, 93 in Dallas and Houston, sitting in the 80s up in the Ohio Valley, but check out those feels-like temperatures, all right? This is what we got with our heat index. 88 degrees in Chicago at the O'Hare Airport, and then we're well into the hundreds through Texas. Dallas is at 98, waiting for that, true heat to set in later this afternoon. 110 degrees at noon at Corpus Christi. So a lot of these southern areas are going to continue to see that really hot weather with just muggy conditions and not much relief from it for the next few days, unfortunately. We'll get into it more, but basically that heat and that humidity will feed into the instability that we're seeing through the Central Plains. And with the disturbance in the jet stream, we're going to see that system, and it's going to continue to track down to the southeast. Once it hits, the instability through central Kansas should start to fire up a little bit more, potential to see higher winds on that around 2 p.m. as well as some large hail. Then in terms of those high winds, here it goes the next couple hours. Should really, again, intensify once it starts kind of latching on to that more like higher instability values. So Omaha, you got a chance to see some gusts early this afternoon. Once it tracks southeastward, now we're starting to see a lot more of that purple present on that system. That's just our 50 miles an hour plus. So potential for some very high winds on this as it moves through the city, and then down to the southeast even more. Could be seeing some 60s, maybe even some higher winds in the 70 mile an hour range as that moves through. So here it goes. All right, seeing that south end stay a little broken, could potentially see some large hail off of that. Then as things continue to move southeastward, now we're seeing those broken storms. I'm not going to promise you guys anything if you guys are in this region. Not going to promise you anything in terms of hail. Should be more of a wind prevalent day, especially from the north end of the system, but the south end, potentially through Wichita, and then with any scattered storms that form through Dodge City, we could potentially see some large hail with that. Then by around 10 p.m., wind going through Joplin, Springfield area, as well as more storms now moving into Chicago with the potential for some rumbles of thunder, maybe some quarters or larger, and then some high winds as well as that continues to make its way into the Ohio Valley through the overnight hours. So for the mid-Atlantic, totally different. More scattered storms developing from the Carolinas up into, the coast area of like New York and New Jersey. Should continue to kind of fizzle up and down, kind of pop up popcorny storms throughout the day. And then by the overnight hours should be a little bit more clear, and the Ohio Valley getting a little bit more action into tomorrow. So for today's hail forecast, going to include those three areas. Smaller hail sizes possible on the mid-Atlantic and maybe some extended from the system up through Michigan. But really, again, the largest hail is going to be on the south end of that system that's tracking through. Now, if you're along the band, if there's anything that forms out ahead of it, you could potentially get some ping pong balls, some golf balls here and there. So that is where we're going to leave our moderate risk for those areas. Could potentially see some larger hail out ahead of that system. Low-end chances across the board from pretty much Amarillo to Fort Smith up into Chicago to see anything larger than quarters to $50. But again, this region is really where we could get our largest hail with those stronger storms passing through. Then through the Detroit area, through upper Michigan, as well as parts of the mid-Atlantic and northeast here, again, could potentially see those popcorn storms getting you some quarters to $50, but the chances across the board are going to be low on that. Then for wind, again, I'm thinking it's going to be potentially a more wind prevalent day. Could see some higher gusts tracking through once that system really kind of gets going. So if you guys are in Wichita, if you guys are in KC, if you guys are in Joplin, you could potentially see some high winds from that. Same for Topeka and Salina as that tracks through. Everywhere else is going to be pretty scattered, just like our hail chances. So low end for you guys all the way up into parts of the Ohio Valley and the mid-Atlantic for today. Then for tornado chances, it's really going to come from, again, once that system really kind of gets going, any storms along that would be embedded along that line and potentially get rotating through there. So if you guys are in, again, Salina, Topeka, KC, or Wichita, even potentially Joplin could get a rotating storm. It should be pretty brief, but it's possible along that line that we could see tornadoes today. So that's what we have for day one. Tomorrow should be a little bit more diffuse. You can see that on our future radar here. Not much going on in terms of intense singular storms. Should just be a lot of messy storm mode through the area by around 5 p.m. Eastern. And it'll continue to kind of track slowly off into the New England area with a lot of rain, potential for some wind gusts here and there, and maybe some marginally severe hail. So for that, again, the environment's just not going to be supportive of anything huge through the Ohio Valley at this point. So anywhere from Detroit down into Knoxville could potentially see a quarter or two with that system. And, we'll keep you updated if anything changes. Then, in terms of tropics, got to give you guys a quick glance at that. We did get a subtropical storm Don, and you can see that kind of moving through the central Atlantic. Peyton hit the nail on the head yesterday. It's a fish storm. It's not really moving into any area of landmass, but it is still a named storm. We got Don, so right now doing 45 miles an hour and shouldn't really top that as it kind of continues to move through the central and northern Atlantic, and then, tapering off on Sunday, dropping below those subtropical storm limits. But we got Don on the board. So there you go. Now it's on to the next. So we'll see what we get. I'm going to leave you guys with our 5-cast for OKC, for DFW, and for Denver. OKC and DFW, it's going to be hot. I don't think I need to tell you that. I'm sure everyone's already seen that thus far, but it's going to stay in the 80s and 90s for OKC for the next few days. Check that out, though. When we have that cloud cover and we have those rain chances, it stays a little bit cooler in the upper 80s and the 90s, but then 97 on Monday, 100 on Tuesday, once we lose those rain chances and we lose that cloud cover. So potential to get pretty hot into the beginning of next week for OKC. For Dallas, it's going to stay hot. It's 103 for your high today, And your cool day is on Sunday at 95 degrees. You got some storm chances possible Saturday and Sunday, but nothing organized or really severe. And then again, unfortunately, Monday, Tuesday, you're going to be 104 for your high and no chance of rain, bright sunny skies. So no real change for you guys in DFW. Hopefully you guys are used to the heat and this is no big deal. We can all be jealous of Denver. Denver's got highs in the 80s and 90s for the next 5 days, and one day, I mean, it's pushing 100 degrees, but you know, still that's going to be brief and moving back down into the mid 90s by next Tuesday with some scattered storm chances here and there throughout the week. So hot pretty much everywhere. Hopefully we get some relief from that soon. But, you know, pattern change isn't looking like much coming up. So we'll keep you guys updated and we'll see what we get. Tune in with us noon on Monday. You can follow us on all our socials. We're at YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. James, this part of Kansas is going to be East Kansas for wind, potential to get some quarters, maybe some larger like ping pong golf balls ahead of the system, but that's going to be pretty isolated. If you're in West Kansas, that's where you could potentially get that large hail. But again, wind is going to be the threat mostly in East Kansas today. So anyway, back to our socials. It's going to be at Hail Trace on everything. We're easy to find, and we're on Threads now, so go ahead and follow us there. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can go ahead and give us a call at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. And again, we'll be back on Monday to let you guys know what's up with all your severe weather chances. But for now, have a great weekend, and I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.